So this is John Stefano with Todd Blatt.
Hi.
So Todd is part of We The Builders.
So I started We The Builders in, I think, 2013. It was at a hackathon in Baltimore, and it was at the Walters Art Museum. So we had my friend who runs Direct Dimensions come out and do the 3D scan of the sculpture of George Washington. And usually that George Washington bust lives inside the Washington Monument, in Baltimore, but it was inside the Walters for a few months while they were doing renovations. So it was a good opportunity to get a 3D scan all the way around. And I thought it was a neat sculpture because it's young George Washington, and the sculptor was Italian. He's wearing a toga, and he shipped the sculpture from Italy to Baltimore. So I said that's a perfect project for all people all over the world to print parts and mail it to Baltimore also, and we'll build a sculpture that way. So the original one of George was 33 inches tall, and I scaled all the next 3 sculptures up to be 33 inches also. The next project was Benjamin Franklin, and we scaled a replica of the Houdon bust, which is at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And that one's 22 inches tall, but we scaled it up to be the same size. And for both the first 2 projects, they were, kind of anything goes. You could print whatever color you wanted. There's 110 parts for George and 198 for Ben. And we built them over 3 weeks for George and 5 weeks for Ben. We took it up to Maker Faire. We took it to 3D Print Show in New York, South by Southwest. They've been around a bunch. And then for the third sculpture, we had my friend Ryan Kittleson do a digital sculpt of Edgar Allen Poe, and that one we split the files into 2 separate parts. So it was dark parts and light parts, so people could print and choose which color they wanted, and then print it and mail it in. So that one came out really neat because you have that contrast for the skin tone versus the hair and mustache and jacket. And then for the 4th project, we reached out to as many women makers as we could. So Jen Schachter in Baltimore did the sculpt, and she sculpted it in clay. A couple ladies at the scanning company Direct Dimensions did the scan, and we had all those parts printed and sent in. That was about 250 parts. And for the most recent project, which finished up 2 weeks ago at the Nation of Makers conference, we called on our community again to print parts, and women sent in videos as well of things they made and what made them a maker. And that one was over 2,600 parts. So Jen and I, and then a few people at the conference, as well as Adam Savage, built it over the weekend at the Nation of Makers conference 2 weeks ago in Santa Fe. And then it got trucked over to the New Mexico Museum of History. So it's going to be there for the next 6 months, maybe longer. So that's pretty exciting. And that one's over 6 foot tall, plus the 2 foot platform. So it's really massive.
So we had Jen Schachter on F3D-PCH. We talked about it. I'll have a link to the stream where she participated in that. And I'll have a link to We The Builders website where they had the list of all the participants in the printing.
And then anyone who wants can help. So we've been doing 1 project a year. So if you want to do a project next time, you can sign up for the mailing list at wethebuilders.com, and then we have a Facebook group, and we try to get the word out however we can to let you know, hey, you've got a couple weeks, print a part, send it in, and we're gonna put it in the next sculpture.
And it is really easy. You click on the website, you can sign in with Google. I think right, sign in with Google Plus. It has your email and everything associated with it. And you click on a part, you click on give me a part, and it randomly assigns you a part. And you print it, take a photo of it, ship it in. It's easy.
Great, thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
I'm getting interviewed.
All right, so this is John with You Do It, and Ron from Canadian Maker Project.
Hey everybody. The Canadian Maker Project was an idea that came out back in ERRF. I always liked the idea of being a podcaster. It was my first thing I used to do, where I used to interview people. I fell in love with 3D printing, and I said, this has to be done as an interview level. So I started a channel just to do interviews itself, but it grew into more of a channel which I love building. So taking my building knowledge that I've learned from back in the day with working with wood, electronics, even working with metal. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to teach that art of building such and get people motivated. Also come up with ideas that may be able to help the community where it doesn't cost us a lot of money, but we are able to produce something that will work. Like some of the stuff I've already come up with, One of them was an idea to build a dry box, which I'm actually putting together right now, that would actually keep your filament dry, and you can store your boxes and store filament any which way you want to store them. I'm also working on another project for how to dry out filament using ordinary parts that you can find anywhere in stores.
Yeah, so thanks, Ron, for that. And check out this channel. I have a link below.
Thank you.
That was just oxidizing normally, and it's magnetic.